Good morning and welcome to U45 Morning Show. Today, the 12th day of January. Like gradually we're coming to the end of January, and before you know it, once January comes to an end, the year would run smoothly because January is usually the longest. January 50/10th, 50/100, January 100th day. But hey, well, we're moving slowly and gradually. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, wonderful day wherever you are, at work, at home, in transit. I hope you're having good day. And then U45 Morning Show will help you to start your day. Will help you to kickstart your day so that you will be abreast of what's happening in the nation. I am Shegun Denola Adeyemi.
And I'm Patience Willie. Welcome to the U45 Morning Show.
Alright, so what we're going to do, you know how we do it, you know the drill, the usuals that we do. We'll go through the paper review, the newspaper review, and then we'll have hashtag and trends and then sports. But today's edition is a special edition, so we will not be having hashtag and trends. We'll just be having the newspaper review and sports. You know, as you all know that the AFCON 2023 is holding tomorrow, starts tomorrow in Cote d'Ivoire, with Cote d'Ivoire being the host nation. They'll be playing tomorrow, and Nigeria, your dear Nigeria, will be playing on Sunday. I hope you will watch that match. I mean, if for nothing, for the sake that we are all Nigerians and we definitely love sport. No, we love football in this country.
Yeah, we love football.
We love football a lot.
Nigerians are a football loving nation, and we've excelled greatly in football over the years.
Just for some setbacks, if not for setbacks, we have quality players, and
fantastic players.
And I'm tipping Nigerians, the Super Eagles, to win this competition.
Definitely.
We have the names, we have the team.
Dude.
We might not have the coach, but well, we're doing well. All right, beautiful morning to you. So, Parks, let's start with the newspaper.
We'll start with the Guardian newspaper. And the big story is on page 4 and 5, which says, renewed hope agenda after honeymoon, tales of war, frustration, trail Tinubu's policies. That can be found on page 4 and 5. Moving ahead, another story says, CISLAC falls Enitan's appointment as Obi insists no sacred cow. This can be found on page 6. Moving ahead, female banker commits suicide in Ikorodu, blames economic hardship. That can be found on page 9 of the newspaper. Another story says, Dangote refinery to reach full capacity in June as crude demands up by 2 mbpd. To another story, schools, banks, others shot as Supreme Court decides Kano governor. Moving ahead, tourist kills community head, 9 others abduct women in Katsina. That can be found on page 8. And then another story says 2024 budget, where we settled for 800 naira benchmark. Minister, this can be found on the news page 6 of the Guardian, and that's all we can take on the Guardian.
All right, moving straight ahead to the Punch newspaper. The front burner says CBN plans shareholders summit, compiles new directors lists. And then the writer says Apex Bank to discuss bank's future with stakeholders, new chairman, executive directors to be named soon. And then this regards that of Union Bank, Polaris Bank, Keystone Bank, and even Titans Bank. And moving on away from that, Humanitarian Ministry, EFCC summons 20 directors, others. You find that on page 2. And on page 7, it says tension in Kano as Supreme Court decides Yusuf's fate today. And on page 25 it says, foremost industrialist Okoya clocks 84, advises federal government on economy. And away from that, another headline says, Lagos NBA protesters storm police headquarters over brutality against lawyers. Another headline says, widows of soldiers killed in 1992 plane crash demand compensation. It's long overdue. Another headline says, netizens mourn as female banker kills self, pens suicide note. You find that on page 4 and page 5 of the Punch newspaper. Another headline says, CB Joshua made childless couples to exchange spouses, ex-worker. You find that on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. I think that's how we'll take on that's what we'll take on the Punch newspaper.
Moving to the Vanguard. The major story says Edu Gate. APC governors Peter Obi back Tinubu on probe. And the rider says governors ask Nigerians to be patient, says Tinubu will take final decision after investigations. Another rider says, as APC professionals support President's move to send strong signals to government officials. Another rider also says, don't spare anybody, Peter Obi tells Tinubu. This can be found on page 5 of the Vanguard. Moving ahead to another story, Governor Alia bars local government chairman from leaving domains. This can be found on page 2 of the Vanguard. Another story says, alleged $6 billion fraud. Ex-power minister Ogunloye gets 50 million bail. This can be found on page 9 of the Vanguard. Moving ahead, new bank CEOs boost confidence. NECA ASSBIFI analyst. That can be found on page 20 of the Vanguard. Another story says 32-year-old bank staff commits suicide over harsh economy. This can be found on page 7. Moving ahead, 2023 AFCON. Another injury scare for Eagles as Omar misses training. This can be found on page 31, the sports page of the Vanguard. Moving ahead, Nigerians can't make progress without federalism. Obong Atta. This can be found on page 8 of the Vanguard. And that's all I can take on the Vanguard. Do good to get the paper and get more stories.
Yes, you need to get the paper so you understand what we're talking about, so you know what is stirring up all of this conversation in the newspaper. All right, the next paper we'll be looking at is The Nation. The headline says, anxiety in 7 states as Supreme Court delivers judgment. And the writer says, it's decision day for Plateau, Kano, Lagos, others. Another writer says, Umo Eno triumphs. Alright, another writer, the headline, Nwosu Amunike Lawal give AFCON tips to Super Eagles. Just like I did. The writer says gold winners reflect on strategies. Another writer says meningitis breakout in Ogun's, Ekiti, Ondo, Osun, and others. Another writer says strong forces for deployment against bandits and kidnappers. This headline says experts in cautious optimism on shake-up of banks by CBN. Another writer says, this headline says process for revival of Ajaokota Steel begins, says minister. I mean, that would be a good one. That would be a good one. Edo primaries tempo rise with PDP central endorsement of Igodalo. That will be all. The Nation's newspaper.
Moving on to the Daily Sun. The major story says Judgment Day for Governors. This can be found on page 6 and 8 of the Daily Sun. And the writer says, Supreme Court rules today on Lagos, Abia, Cross River, Bauchi, Ebonyi, Zamfara, Kano, Plateau, Guba petitions. Moving ahead to another rider, it says dismisses APC, YPP, NMPP's appeals against Akwa Ibom government. Then another writer says reserves judgment for Ogun Adamawa. This major story can be found on page 6 and 8 of the Daily Sun. Moving ahead, burial law, Soludo Catholic Church on warpath. The writer says respect yourself, Archbishop Okeke warns governor. This can be found on page 27 of the Daily Sun. Another major story says better Edu, don't spare anybody involved, Obi tells Tinubu. This can be found on page 7 of the Daily Trust. Moving ahead, Tinubu approves committee to revive Ajaokuta steel plant. This can be found on page 28. Another story says 2024 budget, how we settled for $800 to dollar benchmark, federal government. This can be found on page 25. Moving ahead, Wike issues threats over Abuja light rail. This can be found on page 28 of the Daily Sun. Another story says, my book unveils untold story of Buhari's 8 years in office. Femi Adesina. Tinubu, the writer says, Tinubu, Jonathan, Osibanjo go on to grace book launch. Moving ahead, CBN names new boards, managements for Union, Polaris, Keystone banks. This can be found on page 2 of the Daily Sun. And another story says, trapped $700 million foreign airlines threatened to exit Nigeria soon, says AFAN, AFARN. This can be found on page 25. Another story says Sultan directs Muslims to watch out for new moon of Rajab. This can be found on page 8 of the Daily Sun. And that's all I can take on the Daily Sun. Do good to get the paper and get the stories in full.
All right, moving on to Nigerian Tribune. The headline says Zamfara, Plateau, Kano, 4 other governors, no fate today. The writer says Governor Eno of Akwa Ibom wins. Another writer says judgment reserved in Ogun appeal. Another headline says federal government to probe 33 billion naira Ajaokuta steel electricity debt. Another headline says Israel committing genocide in Gaza, South Africa tells United Nations court. 2024 budget, why federal government chose 750 naira per dollar exchange rates, Bagudu. Another headline says CBN appoints interim management for Union, Keystone, Polaris banks. You find that on page 6. Another headline says Raji retires as GMD Odua Investment. UNISA takes over. Another headline says Tinubu Fubara meets in Aso Rock. Another headline says Lagos female banker kills self inside toilet. You find that on page 27 if you want to know what really transpired, what really happened. You have to go to page 27 of Nigerian Tribune to get the full detail. Another headline says Nigerian pilgrims diverted to Rome, Greece over Israel-Hamas war. You find that on page 19. Another headline says Falana decries police brutality as Lagos lawyers protest. You find that on page 19. Another headline says alleged $6 billion Mambila power fraud. Court grants Agunloye 50 million naira bail. Well, and that will be all we can take on Nigerian Tribune.
The major story on the Daily Trust says security beefed up as Kano Plateau sees others governors no fate today. The writer says CPs, others call for calm, winners appellants upbeat. The other writer says the issue at stake. Now moving on to another story, village head son, 8 others killed in Katsina. This can be found on page 21 of the Daily Trust. Moving ahead, Army denies allegation of poor feeding of troops. This can be found on page 31 of the Daily Trust. Still on the Daily Trust, bandits abduct 23 in FCT. That story can be found on page 12. And another story says, worry over 50% TSA deductions from aviation agencies. This can be found on page 23 of the Daily Trust. Moving ahead, Edu Gate, don't spare anybody, Obi tells Tinubu. This can be found on page 14. Another story says, man arrested for stealing 20 cartons of Quran Hadith in Kwara. This can be found on page 21 of the Daily Trust. Moving ahead, ICJ hearing. South Africa wants Israel held accountable for genocide in Gaza. This can be found on page 10 of the Daily Trust. And that's all I can take on the Daily Trust today.
Well, thank you for joining us on the newspaper review. That's all we'll be able to take on the newspaper review this morning on your 45 morning show. Please do well to stay tuned, as we will be coming back with Sporting Joel to discuss AFCON, because like I said earlier, this is a special edition, and it's an African edition because AFCON starts tomorrow. Let us look at the insights. What are the possibilities? What are the plausibilities? And the ex-internationals, Munike, Lawal, and the rest are tipping Nigeria to come home with the trophy. And like I said too, I am tipping them to come home with the trophy because I know we have quality players in that squad. Do you believe in the squad?
I believe in Nigeria, and I believe in my squad.
So you believe they can come home with the trophy?
Definitely. There have been a lot of times that Nigerians have come up with that hat trick, and we come up with the medal, even though they don't believe in us.
Okay.
We surprise the world.
So hopefully this year's AFCON will be ours to take home. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this? You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation. Together we talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Delola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
There's no place for pretense. I can't watch you stand there. Oh no.
Ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Yusuf Olúṣọlá ni orúkọ ti tèmi Funky ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbásìkì tó dùn tó kí tó yí gbogbo. Ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday 8:30 to 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday 1 to 2 fún ètò tó ga jù. Ẹ má miss ẹ̀, ó ga jù lẹ́tò. Ẹ pàdé mi, ó ṣàprápra.
Lẹ́nu ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu ó dùn lẹ́nu. Come on, I cannot do.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there and make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country and wetin you sef want make your country do for you. You need to give something before you take something. Now the only way matter fit balance. No be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth make we build our country. No be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eyes see and make you hear and make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen we dey and my name na Mr. Peace.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. It's U45, the AFCON special, and a lot of people know what's happening today. Is the 12th day of January 2024, and when you hear 2024, 12th January, that tells you it's less than 24 hours. We'll see the big games of the 34th edition of the AFCON. A lot is happening. Every team is training, believing that they can give their best in the AFCON. And what else? The Nigerian team is out there. But we just get kind of a side news this morning that Umar Sadiq, he had a knee injury and he's on his way to Spain to get treated. Not a good news for coming out of the Super Eagles camp, but we believe and we have what it takes to probably clinch the trophy. Anyway, our time will tell. In less than 1 month we'll find that out. Anyway, we have a lot to do today just to look at AFCON in retrospect, and joining me in the studio we have an ex-international named Peter Neketin. Peter,
good morning, my brothers. Good morning, viewers at home. I'm very happy to be here.
And also joining me is Solo Osaige.
I greet you.
Guys, it's always good to be here. It's the AFCON, a lot is happening, and the news coming from the Super Eagles camp this morning, Umar Sadiq has been injured. It's a knee injury, not a good one. Peter Neketin, you know how it is. Getting a knee injury it's not just, it doesn't go like in 24 hours or less than a month. What does that tell you?
Yes, it's becoming a big concern because at the end of the day, this is the more reason why you see good coaches have their periodic plans. These players arguably are just coming in from their clubs. It is not as if maybe they are not fit physically. So at the end of the day, the only thing I anticipated that the team should be doing now is team building and bonding. The physical aspect and all those things, the fitness aspect and all those things should not be questioned at all, because these players are just coming. Their league is still on.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the only areas we will have concentrated on is just trying to do flexibility exercises and doing more of team building.
Okay.
I don't see the reason why at this stage players are going to be physical, getting contact, going to the gym, training, putting excessive load on players and all those things prior to a week to the tournament. It does not make sense to me. Because at the end of the day now, we have lost two key players to injuries. These players were playing actively during the season for their team, and they just came under 1 week. We've lost two key players.
Not a good one.
It's a thing to be worried about.
True. Now, Solomon, now tell me, are these players being fair enough? Because some people believe, some school of thought believe that when players come for national assignment, now the league is fresh in Europe, a lot of them believe they might just be faking it. Are you sure? I mean, do you see any foul play, or could it be yes, it's a real injury? Because from what we got, he had a knee injury and is on his way back to Spain.
Well, I mean, I won't actually debunk the school of thought that it is possible they are trying to fake it, because I mean, we see how some European coaches stylishly not allow their African players participate, in the Nations Cup, because especially if the team is doing comfortably well in their league. Take for example the likes of Victor Boniface. Imagine Bayern Leverkusen
scoring back to back in week out,
and they are topping the Bundesliga. And Boniface out of that team would mean that Bayern Leverkusen will struggle and Bayern Munich will catch up with them.
So, talking about struggling, the coach of Atlanta actually said he wants Nigeria to get out of the tournament in time, so Ademola Lookman can come back to the Serie A, because he is one of the best players he has in that team. So, I mean, not a good one coming from such a coach.
Exactly. Same thing with the coach of Murphy. It was the same thing. He said he was actually excited that Murphy was not in the original team. Unfortunately, Boniface got injured and Murphy was called. You understand? So these coaches are finding it difficult to release. I can imagine how Jurgen Klopp will feel releasing Mohamed Salah from Liverpool to come play the AFCON. So it is possible that truly the coaches and the technical team can play a smart one, feign injury, but I mean that's not good for African football.
Not good for African football. Anyway, we're going to go on this quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at the AFCON in retrospect. Thank you.
To the sky, ladies and gentlemen!
Demand attitude.
I am Salahuddin.
Demand excitement. Demand action.
You're welcome back, guys. It's U45 and it's the AFCON specials. Now, let us look at the AFCON in retrospect. Peter Nekete, you've been there all the while as an ex-international, playing in various clubs, started from Uwanya National. Now, has it been the AFCON from, I wasn't born back in the days, but I mean, I started seeing a lot of things happening back in '98. I was just a baby, but I'm very sure you could give a little bit of what happened in the '80s down, looking at AFCON in focus and Super Eagles in focus.
Thanks very much. You will see that the development and the anxiety in the AFCON now is not the way it used to be years back. The problem is probably because of a majority of the big countries have gone to sleep, and the smaller countries are having a good structural development program, and they are the people that are causing upset now. Let me just go back in retrospect. I was privileged to be part of a Nations Cup also in Maroc '88, Green Eagles. We lost the finals to Cameroon via penalty by Roger Miller, scored by Abega. I think it was that same year the national team name was changed from the Green Eagles to Super Eagles. So we can see all over Africa that there was a tournament that was going on. That passion was there.
Yeah.
So but now you will find out that most people are losing interest. Those days also you will find out that majority of these problems that are coming up now was not existing because of bulk of the players are from the home base. But now you will find out that majority of the players, just like we were discussing earlier on, majority of the national team players are playing outside. And by the time it gets to this AFCON, majority of the clubs are not willing to release their players to come and participate. For crying out loud, this is the largest and the greatest African football tournament. They have their European games. They will not deprive their players of participating in that, even if it is off-season or not. By the end of the day, it is not good enough for the development of football for clubs to be playing tricks and be making it difficult for football in Africa to continue to develop by refusing to release their players to come and represent their countries. And that is the more reason why you see the interest in the tournament is no longer there. People are just looking at it just like just one other tournament. It's not the way the passion of the Nations Cup used to be. We need to sit down, possibly go back to the drawing boards. CAF need to do something about it, because at the end of the day, if FIFA is not being cautioned, if FIFA is not being if this issue is not being reported, for African players to be released to be playing this tournament, you will find out that it gets to a stage that this tournament is not going to be existing.
I'm going to hold you on this. So I don't know if you have anything to speak after that.
Well, for me, I think one of the best, the highlights of the journey of the national team is the Green Eagles of 1980, with the likes of Captain Christian Chukwu and Segun Degbami, Mathematical Segun, like they used to call him. You know, and the rest of them. It was the first time Nigeria was able to cement their place in African football, and ever since then we became a force to reckon with. A lot of people have argued that that team is arguably the best national team ever assembled. Well, I might agree, because as compared to the 1994 team, the bulk of those players were playing here in the local league. Some of them have no foreign experience, no professional experience, yet they played like professionals. They had this team bonding. They were skillful. I mean, everything was working out for them. And kudos to Clement Wester of 1994. He came in and revamped the team, giving us the likes of JJ Okocha, Daniel Mokachi, Samson Siasia. It was a fantastic team also for 1994. And then look at Stephen Keshi 2013 when we won the AFCON again. I mean, for me, I think it has to be 1980 team, followed by the 1994 team before Stephen Keshi in 2013.
All right. Now, in 1980, we had a certain coach called Otto Gloria, a Brazilian. Now, what was the mode of selection? Because I knew the bulk of those players, 98% of them, almost 100%, were playing in the local league. What was the mode of selection by the coaches?
You will find out that as at that time, footballers had that passion. They were not really financial support. But you look at it as at that time, people were playing just for the passion of the game.
Yeah.
People were not interested in what you want to get. People are interested in making name for themselves. Just like during our own time also, we were not getting much. By the end of the day, that passion to put on the green white jersey was what they was spurring us on to move on. And during that period, you will find out that our leagues also was well managed and well organized. And you will find out that the way the selections were being made, as at that time, it is from different regions. You have scouts that are bringing people from the eastern region, you have scouts that are bringing people from the northern region, you have scouts that are bringing people from the southern regions, and that is the way it is supposed to be, and that was why we were able to assemble a very solid team. If you look at the team, from the beginning of the team to the end, you will find out that it is very difficult for you not to see at least one player from one region.
Exactly.
And as at that time, there was no sentiment. If you cannot make it, you cannot make it.
Exactly.
If you even get the letter of invitation as at that time to come and play for the national team, it is a plus. So, but now you will find out that players you've not even seen have been invited to the national team. How? We are underrating our players in Nigeria. I used to say that. I was privileged to have watched the Super 6 and the last Super 8. We still have players in this our local league. If given the opportunity, they also can do magic.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, it all boils down to the simple fact that if you are not playing overseas, you are not going to be looked onto. That is one of my major problems also, because of after playing for Super Eagles, immediately I started playing out of the country. I was in Malaysia. We were invited. That 94 squad, I was supposed to be a part of the squad. We came back from holiday, myself and Bumi Adigun. We were invited by West Off. We were in camp, but unfortunately, the King Fahd Cup, they wanted to go to play in Thailand. Yes, they asked us to go. Then we told them that because of we are on holidays, officially our club would not allow us to go and get involved in any tournament except we get a letter of invitation and release from our club. That was why we did not go. And by the time the invitation got to Malaysia, the team was already in Holland preparing to go to USA. So at the end of the day, you will find out that players as at that time are being selected based on merit.
Exactly.
But now you will find out that players that have not even played for 1 or 2 seasons in Nigeria, everybody now wants to go outside, and it is because of the problems we're having in Nigeria. The managerial aspect is the key factor. Players are not being paid salary, match bonuses don't come, coaches are not being respected, and all those things. So, but then we have foreign coaches that will come. The administrators, whatever you are due to get, you get it at the right time. Whatever the players are due to get, they get it at the right time. We will find out that the concentration was on development, and everybody was anticipating to make a name for himself.
Beautiful. Now, Solo. Now, what is why are they putting a lot of preference on foreign players than the local players? Well, some believe it's corruption. I don't know what your take.
Well, for those that believe it's corruption, I mean, I'm sure they have their reasons, and the reasons are not far-fetched. Because the foreign-based players, let's call it spade, they are rich. They are super rich, and some of them can comfortably pay some of our national team coaches. Exactly. So everybody wants to eat from that pepper soup, but unfortunately it is at the detriment of our football.
Exactly.
So I think it's high time for me. I don't have a problem with inviting foreign-based players, but blend them with the national team boys. We have homegrown players that are super fantastic. They want to make name for themselves. They are ready to give you their all. I mean, we saw how Stephen Keshi experimented with some of them, and they came and deliver. One of the highlights of the 2013 Nations Cup was Sunday Umba. Fantastic player.
He was playing in the local league. I think Enugu
exactly. He was from Enugu Rangers, and he was one of the standout performers. Where are the likes of Sunday Ubas? They are still in the local league, so why not give them an opportunity? So for me, I think I don't have a problem with the foreign-based players. We need their experience, we need their exposure. Of course, you cannot take away the fact that football has evolved, the technology, the business aspect. which we didn't have before. You know, all of that is coming to the fore. We need to combine and blend that with what the local league is, so that it can also rub off on the local league and expose some of our boys. Imagine taking some 3-4 home-based players and they go out there and they make a name for themselves. These scouts will come, and it will also be for the benefit of our football.
Exactly. Now, Peter Neckerton, looking at the coaches that had handled the Super Eagles, the Green Eagles down to the Super Eagles from 1980, you had likes of Otto Gloria, you had Christian Chubunze or something, and you also have Fadatiku and a lot of those coaches, Onigminde and the likes. Which of the coaches do you think, you know, the local and the foreign coach, which of them gave us something to cheer for?
Actually, majority of them, and especially I would say my friend Honor. My friend Honor came to Nigeria to prepare.
You had a Paul Hamilton.
Paul Hamilton was there. I'm talking about the foreign ones first.
Okay.
My friend Honor came to Nigeria. He started following the development of the football from the Chile 87 sets. And when he got that job, he's one of the coaches I would say I've been privileged to work under that does not believe in hearsay. If you know you are good and you want to play, prove yourself on the pitch. It is not what he reads on the newspaper. He is somebody that came to this country and gave his all. And you will find out that it is just unfortunate that after serving us very well, it did not end well, because by the end of the day, they started trying to dictate to him in our final game against Cameroon.
Wow.
He had a selection made. The team was made. We have dressed up from the hotel to the pitch.
Sorry. When you say dictate to him, what do you mean? The administrator trying to impose players on him?
Yes, at the end of the day, this is what I was saying, and that is exactly what is killing us now. A coach has done his selection. Players to play the games are already known. Getting to the stadium, they say this is Nigeria affair. A new team list from Parliament and Co. Everybody came. They said this is Nigeria affair. These are the people that are going to brought a new jerseys, get people jersey in the dressing room.
Wow.
So those that took part in the trials and took part in trainings and qualification, they weren't there in the final game.
No. It is the same thing. It is the same team that was registered. Everybody was there. But based on the selection, some few people were having little knocks and injuries and all those stuff.
Okay.
So he decided to put them on the bench to observe the game. But at the end of the day, by the time we got to the dressing room for that final game, they brought their own NFA list. That these are the people that are going to play in this position, this person, this position, this person. So the man was worried. The man drank water and was using toothpick.
I'm going to underline that, the NFA list.
Yes, the man drank water and was using toothpick. He was telling them, for crying out loud, how can you decide what player is going to play? They gave him all the whole support from the beginning of the game till the finals. And when he got to the final, now they told him that this is Nigeria affair. These are the people that are going to play. The man left. Immediately we lost that game. The man did not even come back to Nigeria with the team to celebrate.
Same thing West Africa in '94.
The man left directly from Constantine, Morocco to Germany.
Wow.
He said he could not work with people like that.
Anyway, viewers, you're still hearing the voice of Peter Eneketen. You can hear what he said. And I know you had an NFF list, or NFA. I think it was NFA then.
NFA,
The days of Emeka Mera and the likes, Michael Bakpola and the rest of them. Now, Solo, you heard what Peter Neckerton said. Not a good one for football. There's a certain NFL list coming in from somewhere, which is not right. Do you think that has affected our football? Now, looking at 1980 down till this time, because Egypt has won the Cup of Nations 7 times. Cameroon, and we are giant of Africa. We just won it just 3 times. Do you think the whole NFF list then, or NFL list, affected our team up to this moment?
Well, I think it has. I think it has, because before if you start following from the 90s, you see the influence of politics into our football, and that has affected this Wazobia, this quota system nonsense. Has affected our football. I've always said it that if, like Peter has said, back in the days, if you qualify, whether your name is Chukudi, if 9 of our players are from the East and they are the best in that team, feed them in, let them play. We don't have to use quota system. We don't have to have certain Northerners or Yorubas or Edo. No. Even if they are from one region, provided these are the best in the team, let them play. If we cannot do that, then we are not ready to see the growth of this team. And we have seen how that has affected. The issue we've had in this country is not necessarily the coaches. If we look back, we've been privileged to have pretty decent coaches.
Okay.
Not all of them might have been world class, but they've been good. They've been pretty good. The issue is government, NFA interference with our football, and that has affected the beauty of the game. We see from nowhere the likes of Gabalawa just came. You'll be asking questions. Even when the guy may not be performing at his best, the coach will still feed him there because we want Wazobia in the Nigerian team.
Now you just mentioned something, Wazobia. Now Peter Nekete, 1980 squad, you had, players cut across from all part of Nigeria. Christian Chukwu from the East, Felix Olabi from the West, Ado Semeka, Mathematica Shogudegbami. Now, we never had this whole issue of, you have to lobby to get into the national team. And what are the mode of selection then? Now, those coaches like Otto Gloria was able to go around the entire, teams in Nigeria to pick players, or it was just, and they announced on radio, the national team just threw the camp open, come and, prove yourself.
As at that time, they cannot throw the camp open because as at that time, we had naturally talented players. And as at that time also, we also have regional coaches that monitors the players. Those days, majority of us that were privileged to get to the level we got to during football. Now it is not about scouting or no scouting.
Yeah.
We were privileged, like late what's his name again? Journalists will just go to somewhere and watch you play. Immediately they see a good talent there, they go to the club that they want, they like the manager, they will go just tell me, say, go to so area, there is a boy that is playing football there, go and watch him, that boy is a good player. Like the Nations Cup in Ajegule now, you will find out that those days the Nations Cup was one of the venue where players are being recruited. Lejo Awudu and others, they will just go and sit down and watch. They see a good player, they call the team manager of the teams. There's a game going to this and that. Go to so place, go and watch so person. That was how players were being recruited as at that time. And at that time, just like you said earlier on, there is no sentiment. They don't want to know if 16 of you are coming from one region. The most important thing we want to do, we want to see people that are going to represent Nigeria. That is what that is exactly what we need for now. Not placing people because of this person is coming from this person. And I want to also tell you that this same factor was one of the major factors that affected that our Chile 87 squad. Because of that Chile 87 squad, even before the tournament, FIFA has rated us as one of the best teams that is going to win the tournament. In our qualifier, we did not lose any game. And true or not, you may mention that the 1980 squad, the 1994 squad, before the 2013 squad is the best selected side. If you look at the names and the quality of players we have in Chile, you will find out that players assembled as at that time were the best, even in Africa. It is just unfortunate that majority of them did not get that privilege to forge on. What happened? This same issue of intrusion from the powers. We had somebody like Imama Makawa that was the best goalkeeper as at that time.
And wasn't taken to the tournament.
It was not taken. They took a goalkeeper, a fourth goalkeeper that did not even play a friendly match between a Super Flying Eagles and NIS workers. We had somebody like Abdullahi Hassan that can close his eyes and pass.
Wow.
It was not taken. They took somebody from the north because they want people to represent themselves. Late Kayode Solomon was our right fullback. He was dropped. And your SN was taken. It's my candidate. So at the end of the day, immediately the finalists came. Even that our squad, the coaches run away from the camp because of they don't know who is going to play each position.
Wow.
At times we go, we pick our jerseys. If it's not your turn to take jerseys, immediately you are going there, somebody will just tell us, oh, but don't go there in a very short time.
Wow.
The coaches run away because of they don't know who is going to play.
This is really getting interesting. I'm very sure viewers are enjoying this. This raw and uncut facts about the Cup of Nations back then and all that. Now we're going to go on this quick break. When we come back, a lot more from Peter Neketen solo and of course your humble self John Wankego. Okay, I think we'll have our guest on. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Mr. George, can you hear me?
I can hear you way too clear.
I'm very sure you can hear me. We are looking at the Cup of Nations in retrospect. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you very well.
Yes, I'm very sure Mr. George is actually in his vehicle, but I think it's a good one. We are looking at the Cup of Nations in retrospect from 1980, looking at the Green Eagles, then Super Eagles, just what happened way back in 1980 down till this present day, mode of selection, the quality of coaches, where did you get it wrong? What are our strong points?
Thank you very much. Well, let me start by saying that our strong point is the fact that we definitely have been having very strong squad to the Nations Cup. In all the Nations Cup that we have gone to, we've been having very strong teams. What Nigeria lacks is definitely not talent. We've got all the talents that you can think of. Even this Nations Cup that we're going to in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, that is starting this weekend, Nigeria has got a very strong squad. You can see that we have a team of talented players. We have the best player in Africa in that squad. Talk about Victor Osimhen, and then we have the likes of Ndidi Ahmed Musa with all his experience. He was part of the squad that won the Nations Cup 10 years ago, and then Ndidi was there too. So you can see that we have a team that is rich in talent.
The likes of Christian Chukwu. Now, the mode of selection for our players, we know back then you have to pick players from the local league. Back in the days, players were cut across from all part of Nigeria. Christian Chukwu, Adoke, Mismeka, and the rest. But it has really been a different ball game from what we've seen 2094 down to this time. What has really affected our football when it comes to mode of selection?
Let me tell you, the era when people talk about we looking inwards has gone because there are so many Nigerians out there. Whether you are playing your football at home or abroad does not really matter. What is important is that you are a Nigerian. So if the Adoke Emeka's, the Christian Chukwus, who were the best at that time in 1980, down the lane in the 70s, were the best Nigeria could offer. Today, if our best legs are outside the shores of our country, the important thing is that they are still Nigerians. And when we are going to prosecute a competition like this, we should go for the best legs, irrespective of where they are based. I think we make this a wrong distinction between home-based and foreign-based players. Let me tell you, even in the Three Lions, for instance, a player like Harry Kane, for instance, who is now playing his football in Germany, cannot be classified as a foreign-based player, while a Declan Rice that is at home will be classified as a home-based player. In England, there's no distinction between a home-based and a foreign-based player. The important thing is that you are playing for the nation. And for us, Nigerians, this idea of we must have a quota for home-based players, MPFL players, and all that is not the right way to go. If the best players Nigeria can afford is outside the shores of our country, let us go for them, because what is important is going purely on merit, getting the best legs to prosecute this campaign for Nigeria. And once we get that right, Nigeria will definitely do it again. You see the slogan of Nigeria Football Federation going into this one is let's do it again. We did it 10 years ago, and we are in a position to do it this time again in Cote d'Ivoire. And we have the talents that can definitely do it. What Nigerians need now, what the Super Eagles need now, is the support of every Nigerian out there. So many people are believing that this team may not go all the way. But then, don't forget that one thing that is going for them is the Nigerian fighting spirit going into every competition. And there's the several nations, in fact, we most likely would have won the Nations Cup more than 4 times. But sometimes ill-luck come into play. If you remember the scenario in Nigeria when we played Cameroon, when Victor Ikpeba scored a goal but put his hand on his head, believing that he did not score. That was element of hard luck. In Maroc 88, Henry Wosu and co were to do it for Nigeria. Nigeria was actually robbed in that one because of football politics. So we should have won the Nations Cup more than 4 times. But not to worry. And don't forget that severally we have gotten to the finals without winning. But in Cote d'Ivoire, my belief is that Nigeria should be able to get to the finals and bring home the trophy. We are set to do it again.
Now, over time, a lot of people have been complaining that we've had issues of goalkeeper. Now, because I love looking at the retrospect, looking at back in the days of Emmanuel Kala, then we had Peter Rufai, Vincent Eyama. Now you have a Francis Uzor that has not been active in his club in Cyprus, and he's the first choice goalkeeper. In the NPFL, we have over 60 goalkeepers. Now, I know those goalkeepers let me look up to. Now, you are bringing a Wabili from Chippers United. So now what happens to those 60 goalkeepers in the NPFL? Looking at also at the NNL, which I believe we have over 50 teams. Now, what that means is we don't have quality goalkeepers to take to the Cup of Nations. We are looking at the goalkeepers abroad.
Well, in the area of goalkeeping, yes, we had the likes of Emmanuel Okala, Peter Rufai, Besto Gedegbe, and all that, who did it for Nigeria back in the days. But then, let me tell you, at the moment, Uzoho is our first choice, and it's easy for you to say that we don't have, we should do changes. But the point is that these coaches rely on performance in camp to pick who is the best. If Eleke Ojo is the best for him, he will take him. If Wabili is the best for him, he will pick him. But if Uzoho remains the best based on performance in training, there's no way you expect a Pesero to change him. And goalkeeping, yes, Uzoho has not been on top of his game, but then it is one area that you do not just make changes anyhow. So let us believe in Uzoho. He has the experience, and with every game he continues to gain confidence. So I think Uzoho, if Pesero decides to pick him, will be able to get the job done in Cote d'Ivoire.
International, which I'm very sure you know who Peter Neketin is. I think he has, I don't know if he has a different opinion. Peter Neketin, do you have a question for Mr. George, the chairman of the NNL?
Arguably, I want to agree with you saying that in as much as players have been picked based on performance, I would want to say yes. But at the end of the day also, if we have players at home that we believe that if given the opportunity also, they can do something, they should be given the opportunity. Just like you said now, for example, I don't have issues with foreign-based players coming. Majority of them that made the list are worth it because of we know that they are performing at the strongest and at the highest level. By the end of the day, there are areas we are having issues, especially within the defensive areas and the goalkeeping areas. If you want to say Uzo has been there before, fine. But at the end of the day, anything that is worth doing well. If Uzo's form is dropping, we are going for a tournament. For us to be able to get a result, we get the person that is in the best form, it's the best shape to go. I want to also question the reason why the goalkeeper, that our goalkeeper in Israel was dropped. In as much as I'm concerned, I want to believe that it is politics, because if that boy makes the final list, automatically he's going to be our number one. But I want to believe that because of the fact remains that Ozawa has been there for a very long time, he's the only person that is going to wrestle the number one position from him. That is the more reason why he did not go in the first place. Because of, I've seen the three goalkeepers, I've seen the home-based goalkeepers play. I've seen our home-based defenders play also. Our major problems in the national team now, in the attack, we have the best attack in Africa. For playing from the flanks, we have the best wingers in Africa. Our major problem is the central defense and the goalkeeping area, which is our concern. And why we are saying that our greatest problem is if we can play collectively and the team can bond and play collectively as a unit, even if we are conceding goals, if we get opportunities and we have luck, if we score 7, if we concede 4, we will still win. But at the end of the day, whereby we are struggling to score, and any little opportunity behind, we concede goals. How do we win? How do we win? And that is where our fear is. The players should be made to know that we are representing Nigeria. That has always been the spirit. Thank God that the slogan now is let's do it again. Those that did it before collectively played as a unit, not minding the fact that nobody is playing for his own bragger rights. For example, now the issue we are having, you cannot tell me that when you give a ball to Chukwueze and we are in the last in the area where in the third half where we can score, as at this level, Chukwueze will not know the speed or the weight of the pass to give to the person that is best position just to put the ball into the net.
I think you've asked lots of questions. Mr. George, let's say what you have to say.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I agree with Peter Neketian in some of his submissions, no doubt about that. But like I said, in the area of goalkeeping, you give it to the coach to decide who he chooses. If Pesero has chosen to stick to Uzoho, despite all the criticisms, let's believe in him. Then don't forget that Uzoho too has shown some flashes of brilliance in some games for his club. He may not be doing very well for his club at the moment, but I think he has built confidence over time. And if Pesero believes so much in him, let's give him the opportunity, because at the end of the day, if we win or we lose, it is Pesero that we are going to hold responsible as the technical advisor. And he is not a Nigerian coach that people will now say, oh, he is doing it based on quota system. He is a foreign manager, and he is here to pick the very best of players that he knows can deliver for Nigeria. Our own is to give him the support, and the president of Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusso, and the entire board has given Pesero all the support that he needs moving forward. And you can see that the federal government has equally rallied around the Eagles. Thanks to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has released the money that is needed for Eagles to prosecute the campaign and get the job done on the field. So now that everything is on the bulk of the players, and you saw that just 2-3 days ago, they had a sent-forth party organized for them by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos. So the government has done its bit. Nigerians are ready to support the team. Nigerians are praying for the team. And I believe in those players. The players are good. They will have, like Neketin pointed out, we have some of the best strikers in Africa. Africa's #1 player at the moment is Victor Osimhen. So I don't see how Victor Osimhen will go to the Nations Cup without delivering. Unfortunately, he had injury worries during the World Cup and Nations Cup qualifiers, but he is fit now to deliver for the country. One of these injuries here, Sadiq Umar is out, but somebody like Paul Onuachu is not a bad striker. So I think at the end of the day, for every player that is not available, we'll have a quality replacement. So my plea to Nigerians is rally around the team. They will get the job done, and we will do it again in Abidjan.
Mr. George, I like your submission so far, but now my question is, a lot of Nigerians feel that we have one of the best teams in Africa, arguably the best team in Africa, but the issue we have, or we might have at the Nations Cup, is in the coaching department. I mean, what's your take on this? Is Pesero the best man to assemble these talented players like you call them?
Well, Pesero, will have him as our manager. When Genatroa was here, so many people criticized Genatroa that Eagles were not playing well, Eagles were not doing this. And at the end of the day, despite the fact that Pesero Roa was delivering, we sacked him. But at the end of the day, when we went to Cameroon for the Nations Cup, we did not get result. Now Peseiro is in charge. He qualified the country with 1 game to spare for this same Nations Cup. How else do you judge his performance? So if you qualified us with 1 game to spare, the best thing is to allow him to get to the Nations Cup and deliver. And he has a mandate that, as part of his contract, the target is that he must reach the finals of the Nations Cup. So if that is the target, the man has not failed us. So why are we apprehensive over his performance? Let us give him the benefit of the doubt. He qualified us, like I said, for this Nations Cup with 1 game to spare. And since he did that, it is only reasonable that we give him all the needed support. He may not have won all the matches that he has played with the Super Eagles. But then, you don't begin to press the panic button by firing him. No, when the man has not failed. So, what he needs, Peseiro, is support of every Nigerian. Let's see his performance at the Nations Cup. Don't forget that even Randy Wardrum with the Super Falcons, so many people were criticizing Wardrum. I'm taking you back to the Super Falcons now. But when this team went to Australia, they delivered. And the same Nigerians who were criticizing Wardrum were not saying that we should retain him for the Olympics moving forward. So, but if Peseiro fails, the name of the game is to hire and fire. But at the moment, he has not failed Nigerians. So let's give him all the support and believe that he can get the job done.
Mr. George, before I let you go, now I'm going to put you on the spot. Nigeria is taking on Equatorial Guinea on Sunday. What's your scoreline for that game?
We're definitely going to win. I wouldn't want to stick out my neck to give out the scoreline. But one thing I can assure Nigerians is that we are going to win and win well. So our first game is against Equatorial Guinea, like you said, after Cote d'Ivoire must have battled Guinea-Bissau in the very first game. But Nigerians should be rest assured that we'll have boys that are relaxed, we'll have a bunch of players that are ready to... See, it is even these players that pick the slogan, let's go and do it again. They are eager to see Nigeria do it again. They are eager to go and deliver and make Nigerians happy. They know that this is the best New Year gift they can give to Nigerians. The boys are hungry. They are fired up. And I believe that they are in a position to get the job done. And like Governor Sanwo-Olu told them, they shouldn't go there and make them no grief for anybody, like we say in local parlance. And they don't go grief for anybody out there in Abidjan.
Mr. George, we'd love to have you in the studio soon enough. Thank you so much, Chairman of NNL. Wow, I mean, you heard him. So I mean, he spoke so well, and extremely. He has given the submissions. But anyway, I think we need to hear what the fans are saying, what we're saying on the street about the chances of the Super Eagles. If my producer allow me bring up the Vox Pop, and let's hear what the people are saying on the street concerning the chances of the Super Eagles in the Cup of Nations.
My own opinion is, I would say, let me just try and encourage them to try their best. I get me now. They should not play with the ball. They should play very well and bring something home. I get me now. So that is what I can say concerning the Super Eagles. They should take it serious. Of course, they can. They can do that if they are serious. If they are serious and know what they want to get, so they should qualify. To me, we should believe in what we have. We should believe in what we have. We have good coaches that can, help them to qualify, even to win. At least we have seen record of local coach that have won, yes, like Stephen Keshi, that have won trophies for them. So to me, we should believe in what we have. There's nothing bad getting a good coach from outside. There's nothing wrong about it. But we should believe in what we have. I get me now. So that's what I can say concerning that.
Actually, I'm a football fan. I have high expectation for them because we have some qualities. Most especially the African King is in the team. I hope that they are going to do better. Let me just say, because we are a country that embraces unity. We love people. We love foreigners. We love our neighbors. Actually, I believe we have some products that can do it here in Nigeria, because unlike before that, most of our indigenous coaches don't go abroad. Now we have a lot of them abroad. I think with this, I think those that are working with a foreign coach can do something better and after take over after the mantle.
Well, what I have to say is that Super Eagles, we know that Super Eagles is not the Super Eagles that we know before, that we have now. But nobody cannot tell if they play very well as a team. They will do something. They will bring the cup home. But as it is, if you want to compare to what they are playing in those qualifying, to me, there's nothing that they can do. But by the grace of God, I hope they will do well. They will play as a team. They will bring the cup home. Depends. That one depends on our leaders. Our leaders, they don't believe on our coaches, because we have many talented coaches in this Nigeria. But if they give them chance, they prove themselves. But now, we as a Super Eagles supporters, we believe in them. I mean, our indigenous coaches. Once that they are doing it with all those junior team, like under 17, under 20, we believe that they can do the same thing with senior team if they give them opportunity to stay long, to give them opportunity, to give them everything, so that they can bring the best what they know.
They can qualify, I believe. They must take the cup.
We have good materials, but the problem we're having is with our coaches. So if the coach can know what to do, because we have good players, our players are doing well in Europe, but the problem we've been having is on the coaches. So if the coach can know how to put the teams together, we'll go places. My take is that they feel because of the white collar, white man knows, because football originated from the white man. So they believe the white man knows the game better than our coaches. But we have our own coaches that are doing fine, like Samson Siasia, Amunike, which we can still also use. But is the white man, the black man mentality. White man is superior to the black man. That's just the issue. If not, we have coaches that can do better than the white people.
You're welcome back to the studios. Thank you so much, Akifabro, for that report. I mean, they say the voice of the people, the voice of God. You hear what a lot of people say. I mean, someone talking about the coaches, some sort of have big players. Now, Peter Neketin, I went through the tabloid recently, and I find out what Peter Ije said. I know you know Peter Ije. You guys were teammates back in the days. He said we have big players, but he doesn't believe in big names. He believes in big performance, and which means you have to be committed, give your best, and all that. So what he's saying is, if we have to make something out of this AFCON, let's do it again, like they said. From what the chairman of NNL said, that the players, they coined, that notion that let's do it again. Yeah. Now, big performance, big players, big names. What do you think about such statements?
I just believe that if collectively the players are going to play as a unit, if they play united, and if nobody is trying to defend his own bragging right and all those stuff, I believe we can win the Nations Cup because of we have the firing power. But if everybody is trying to say Osime is Osime, Chukwueze is Chukwueze, Simon Peter, Moses myself, and at the end of the day, we have scoring opportunities. You are in an angle that you're supposed to give somebody that is going to score, and you shoot. Then we are not playing as a unit. Exactly. We are going to have issues. Yeah. And Osime as a person, Osime is one person that gives even 100 and something %. Presently, is the African goal king. and everybody is expecting he's going to deliver.
Yeah.
And if, for example, it opens up once, twice, 3 times, open opportunities for him to be given the ball to score, he's not being given the ball, you will find that frustration is going to start coming over. So that is exactly what we're saying. The only thing we just pray and beg the players is forget about individual ego. Go there, play collectively as a unit. If they play collectively as a unit, forget about the person that is scoring the goals. In football nowadays also, he who gives a goal pass is also the scorer.
Exactly, yeah.
Forget the fact that Osimhen is the goal king. If Osimhen scores and if we win, the glory goes to everybody. It's not only to Osimhen alone. You will find out that we had the same issues some time ago. Late Rashidi Yekini. It was Rashidi Yekini everywhere, newspaper everywhere. We went to the USA 94. Opportunities for Rashidi Yekini to score goals. He is not going to be given the ball. You will find out that the only one he managed to score that Finidi gave him, he held the net. He was shouting.
That was actually an iconic goal.
So at the end of the day, if the coaches will make the players play collectively as a unit, we wouldn't have problems. The fear of the defense and all those stuff, if we can score more, even if we concede less, you will find out that the team is going to progress. Let there not be selfishness. You get the ball, somebody is in the best position, release the ball for the man to score. We cannot be telling Moses Simon now or Chukwueze how to release the ball, the speed and the weight of the pass to enable the man to tap the ball into this thing. All of them are professionals. Let us forget about individual glory now. Let us play collectively as a unit. One Nigeria. If they take that spirit to the tournament, I'm very confident that with what we have now and with luck on our side, we are going to win.
Now, before I let you say something solo, now, Peter Neketen, a lot has been happening in Nigerian football, especially government intervention. But now, there's a certain decree 101, which we can't take off, because they're the one funding the sport. Do you have anything to say about it? How do we take off government intervention in football?
Yeah, you will find out that, just like I said before, formally, you will find out that the development of football, you will find out that majority of these parastatals have their own team. And the only thing they benefit from the government, that I think it is this tax rate free percentage that they are being given.
Yeah.
As at that time, you will find out that players, coaches were not having issues. Salaries have been well paid from the beginning of the times and all those stuff. But because of only few individuals now are capable of running football because of with their money. Other teams are being sponsored through the government.
Yeah.
And you know, before the money comes out from the government, there are procedures it has to pass through. So at the end of the day, that is the more reason why it is challenging now. If we are those days that we have majority of the things being run by private owners, individuals, we don't have issues. There are developments and all those things.
Yeah.
But now, if government is not releasing the money on time, and the welfare for the players is not being released and all those stuff, it is also going to affect performance.
Sure.
We just pray that even with the decree 101, even if the decree is there, if it is going to be flexible, like I want to use this opportunity also to appreciate our president, because of at the end of the day, our NNL chairman just mentioned that he has disbursed the whole money for us to run this tournament. We don't have any excuse for now, financially.
Actually, they got about $1.3 million.
Yes, for years back, you will find out that the players are going to play, match bonus are not going to be released, FF this thing is not going to be released, and at the end of the day, we've gone to a situation whereby during the reset time, we'll get to a situation whereby they were having issues of release our money or we're not going to play. But now, we've gotten information that the president has released money.
Yes.
So there is no excuse. The government has done its part, just according to what he has said. It is not left for the players to be committed to bring back this score.
You just heard Peter Neketen say no excuse. Solo, what do you have to say about it?
Well, for me, I think government intervention in football, especially our Nigerian football, it cannot be ruled out for now. It's so unfortunate because even FIFA is against it, you know. But like Peter has said, for now, the government are the major sponsors of football, and they say he who plays the piper pays the piper, dictates the tune. So for now, there will still be political interference with our football.
Don't you think it's the marketing aspect of football that has been the major problem?
That I was just going to say that.
What is the worth of Nigerian football?
Nigerian football is a billion-dollar industry.
Okay.
And we want to use this opportunity to invite stakeholders. I understand. Now there's a flip side to it. Stakeholders who don't want to make commitments when there's a lot of government interference.
Yes.
Because they fear that they may not get return on investment.
Especially tax rebates and all
exactly, and all of that. So it is still the government that can make this football attractive, to investors and all of that. So we need our government, to take their hands off football a little bit so that we can be able to attract, investors both locally and internationally. And that way, I want to wear branded Eyimba jersey. Not just be wearing Arsenal's jersey. There's a lot we can do with our football, and it will generate revenue. It will create employment. I think the government should look inwards to what we can do with Nigerian football.
Definitely, Nigeria should look inwards. The government should look in what we can do with Nigerian football, because I believe it has to do with scouting at the grassroots level. Because when it comes to scouting, we've really failed on that aspect. Now, because we keep relying on foreign players. And what about the players in the local league? Now, that brings me to the next question, Peter. Our league, back in the days, I remember we see our Nigerian league on TV, but we don't see that anymore. Now, the LMC has tried a lot, and the IMC, Elegbele and his men, Davidson Owumi as the COO, they've not really gotten that grip on, people's watch our league on TV instead of going to stadium. Not a bad idea going to stadium, but a lot of people are scared, security-wise and all that. Now, also, one of the key factors that has, really caused a lot of issue for us is officiating. We don't see Nigeria referees in big games. It's absurd. It's not a good one for me, if you ask me. Now, imagine a tournament as the CHAN tournament. The smallest tournament as CHAN. Even in the Waffle B tournament, we don't see Nigerian referees. We don't see assistant referees. We don't even see VAR assistant. What is wrong with our the referees in Nigeria?
I think that is a big question to the referees association chairman, because at the end of the day also, you will find out that these referees, majority of them are contributing to the problems of the development of football in Nigeria. For example, a few days ago, there was this issue about this officiating between this game between 3SC and Bayelsa United. Yeah. And people took it up, and I now understand that the referee has been dropped from taking part in the MPFL games. The singular fact remains that if referees are honest, if referees' indemnities are paid on time, it is going to be difficult for referees to be biased. And another aspect there is that if there is security, referees are going to do their jobs the way they are supposed to do it without being biased. But at the end of the day, they will tell the home team to present security. And by the time the home team is preparing security and the referee, the home team is losing, and they're telling the referees, there's no security there, you're on your own. So it is either you blow it this way or you don't come out alive. So how the man wants to be alive, so he's going to do everything humanly possible to want to make himself to go home alive. But those days, it was not like that. Even the referring job, the referring job as at those days was not because of the monetary aspect of it. People were happy becoming referees. Majority of them have their professions.
Exactly.
Majority of them have their profession. This refereeing, this is just a passion. But now majority of them are using it as their own profession, because at the end of the day, that is where they get their money from. Exactly. And if the money is not being paid, released on time from the refereeing association, and the home team that is taking care of you, the home team is telling you, we need a goal. We are giving you 250,000 cash. They take him to the hotel. They give him part payment. At the end of the day, he's going to go there to do the magic. And at the end of the day, if we are not getting it right, how will we have our referees representing us outside?
Anyway, that's a good one. It's kind of fun when you talk about referees being paid some money so the home team can get favored. Anyway, we'll go on this quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some more, then wrap it up. Thank you.
Karibu, Dalu, Ekabo, Akwaba. Get ready for an unparalleled football spectacle. It's the 2023 AFCON Highlight Show, Akwaba, Africa, where the rhythm of the game meets the heartbeat of Africa. It's the dance of the champions as the footballing warriors pursue glory on the continent's grandest stage. From the roaring stadiums to the jubilant streets, enjoy all the pulsating moments that define the African football experience. Join us live 10 a.m. every day, all through the tournament on Akwaba, Africa, as the soccer maestros paint the football canvas with their precise passing, dazzling dribbles, and unstoppable shots. Feel the energy, embrace the passion, and immerse yourself in the football frenzy that unites nations. It's your front row seat as we break down the pivotal moments, tactical insights, and in-depth analysis of all the action. It's more than a game. It's a celebration of skill, unity, and national pride. Akwaba, Africa, where the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and the spirit of Africa comes together. Don't miss a moment. Catch us on AfroSport TV, 10 a.m. every day, all through Africa's greatest football show, Akwaba, Africa. Football.
Nicolas Pepe restores the lead for the Ivorians. Guinea-Bissau to navigate. Shot, goal! That's super! Guinea-Bissau get their first goal.
$52 games, 30 days, 24 teams, 12 former champions, 6 groups, 6 stadiums, 5 cities, 2 billion fans, 1 major trophy. The African Nations Cup is here. AfroSport TV brings you all the matches of AFCON 2023 exclusively on both terrestrial and pay TV platforms wherever you are across Nigeria, in conjunction with all our affiliate partner stations, as Cote d'Ivoire hosts their 34th edition of Africa's Showpiece Football Tournament from the 13th of January to the 11th of February 2024. Enjoy the tricks, the frills, and the thrills, featuring some of the best footballers on the planet. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, Victor Osimhen, Mohamed Kudus, Riyad Mahrez, Yassine Bono, and so many more will strut their stuff on Africa's biggest stage. The African Nations Cup AFCON 2023 is exclusive to AfroSport TV across all broadcast platforms from the 13th of January 2024. You want to enjoy the action? Then this is the only ticket in town. Every minute, every match, every goal. You won't miss a thing live, exclusive on AfroSport TV. AfroSport TV, your freedom of sport.
You're welcome from that break. It's so beautiful. Saying, I mean, this is the AFCON for me is going to be so beautiful compared to what we had in Cameroon. Rich display of African, a culture. We saw the Super Eagles team before they left at the airport, all white attire with the green, white, green cap, looking so good. And I saw the Ghanaian team. They had the whole, Akwaba dressing and all that.
Exactly.
I wonder how the Congolese will be looking. Other beautiful countries out there like Uganda, Angola, South Africa. I think it's good. Now, Nigeria have the first game on Sunday against Equatorial Guinea, but they had a friendly game. They actually had 2 friendly games. We won 12-0. I don't want to talk about that. It's kind of funny. And the next one 2-0. They lost it. I'm not looking at that also. But now, what is your score line for that game? What do you think will happen in that game on that day on Sunday?
Nigeria win if we put our hearts together +3.
+3. Wow. And for you, Solomon, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a tough game because it will be the first game that they will be using to get themselves together. So the score margin may not be much, maybe 2-1 in favor of Nigeria.
A lot of people believe in the group games, they don't score too many goals, but you have to be careful, you have to study your opponents and all that. But anyway, I think that lies on the hands of the coaching crew. Anyway, viewers, it's good to know you can watch the games of AFCON live on your darling station, Super Screen Television, and also you can see a lot of stuff happening. Just go get your Moplex decoder and tune into Super Screen Television. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to have the likes of Peter Neckett and X International coming to the studio and do analysis. You can't afford to miss this action coming up. Super Screen Television, as you can see on your screen, you have beautiful analysts, male and female analysts, will be coming to the studio. Also, we're still going to see a lot more Peter Neckett and other big analysts to come and do justice to games. Well, for me, I think the Cup of Nations is going to be fantastic. Now, football as a unifier, I mean a nation unifier, because a lot of things are happening around the country and the poor economy here and there, but a lot of people are not looking at that. A lot of focus, attention will be on the AFCON. I think our federal government should use the opportunity to, bring people together.
Yeah, I think, looking at the situation of the economy currently, a lot of Nigerians are not finding it easy. But you see, that's the beauty of football. Football tends to bring us unity, unifies us. Whether you are Chukwudi, whether you are Musa, whether you are, Olayinka, football is that unifier. And if our boys are able to deliver, trust me, Nigerians will, this will put smiles in the faces of Nigerians again.
Exactly. And also you have our phone numbers on the screen and the flyer you saw back there. You can call in and sponsors, adverts. We could do a lot of stuff for your companies. We can show you a lot of things that happen in the AFCON Live. Just bring in your products and we're going to do justice to advertising your products. Anyway, guys, that's the much we can take on AFCON Special U45. Thank you, Peter Neckett, for coming in to do justice to a lot of questions.
Thank you, my brother.
And I'm very sure we're going to have you as the AFCON, unveils.
There's no problems, anytime.
Hello viewers, my name is Joel Wakego, and keep it locked on Super Screen. A lot of beautiful programs are coming up. And Solomon, last words?
Yeah, Nigerians, come out there, support Nigeria. This is the time you are needed the most. The team needs our support. We have currently one of the best teams in Africa. And if there's any time we can do it again, it is now. And
I'm thanking the guys at the back end, Sam Eze, aka Chef Mo, and Tayo Lorushola. You have Ahmed Adedigba, and also for the report on the street, Akin Fabro. Thank you so much, guys. And let's do it again tomorrow while the AFCON starts. Signing out. Bye for now.